Hello everyone, this is Ashish Sani from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, I am back with a new video on Python programming, and in this video I'm going to show you that how you can read the emails from your Gmail account through which you have sent the emails in our last previous sessions. So this is all that we will be covering in today's session. So let's get started and let's understand how exactly you can read the messages from your Gmail account and you can display or you can further store it into some different location. So let's understand that and let's see how to do that. Alright, so you can see over here that this is a code which we have already written in a previous session where we actually wanted to send an email to someone, and in fact that email was with the attachment, and that attachment was your web page. In fact, there you were having some animation which you want to send to the user so that you can make your email more attractive. So that is what we have done in a previous session, and now instead of sending that email to someone, now instead we will be doing the reverse process, because previously we have sent the email from our location to some other location. Now we want the email to be read from my Gmail account. So that is what I exactly want. Now for that I have to write a program, and for that we are not only going to use this SMTP and email. Instead we will be using some other modules as well, which will be like IMAP live. So we will be using it, and accordingly we will be able to further fetch the data from our account so that we can see what are the emails that we have already received in our account, or maybe we further want to use that data to further store it into some file, or to directly display it, or to further create some application and then to display all those details over there. So that's all that we can do right now. And now let me just show you the code, because the code is a little bit big and I don't want to write everything right now. So you can see over here that I already have the code with me, and in this code you can see everything is written. Currently in the beginning you can see we have SMTP, we have time, we have IMAP live, we have email, we have traceback. So we have different modules, and this is what we are using right now. SMTP and time, you can see those are not highlighted, which means we are not going to use in here. So you can simply say, instead of using SMTP live, currently we can directly use the IMAP live, which will be used to read the messages from the user account, right? So this is all that we can do. SMTP live we are not using just because in this situation, in this case, we are not going to send an email to any person. So that is the reason that why we are not going to use SMTP lib. Instead we will be using IMAP lib, which will be used to read the data. Now the process for reading the data is quite similar to the one which we have already seen for the SMTP lib. Instead, in this case, what exactly we will be doing is like first two steps. First two steps was like, the first one was to connect to the server. Whichever server you are using, you will be connecting to that server, and after that you will be logging into that server so that you can perform various actions for there, whether to send an email, whether to read the messages, whatever you want. So you can do it over here, and after that there are some changes. Like first two steps are same. The next step is to read the messages, to read the complete data whatever you have, and accordingly to print that message over here, to accordingly to read that messages and further display it or to further store it. That's your choice. So this is all that we will be doing right now, and let me explain you everything step by step. So currently, as I said, the first step will be to connect to the server. Now connecting to the server is okay, but before that let me tell you what exactly I have done. I have created a function. So you can see over here that this is a function which I have created right now, and into that function I am writing my complete functionality, and after that at the end I am just simply calling this function so that my functionality will be executed and I will get the messages that I want to read from the Gmail account. So this is what I have done. So now let me just open this function, and inside this I am using the try and except, which is the exception handling, just because there are some chances that just because of that I can get the errors, and I don't want to encounter such errors. And so let me give you some examples for those errors. So the examples for those errors are like, maybe due to the network issues you can get the error, and that is not in our hand, and I know in that case doesn't matter how good you have written the code, in that case also you can get the error. So such kind of error we don't want to encounter. In fact, we just want to ignore them. So that is the reason we just want to use the exception handling, so that we can directly use the code and we can directly move to the next situation if in case such kind of a situation occurs. So this is how we can use the exception handling. And now let's write the code inside that. So the first step is to connect to the server, and this time we are making a connection to the server through the IMAP live, and that is through the SSL encryption. So this is what I have done, and for that I need a SMTP server plus SMTP port, right? So you can say that SMTP server or the IMAP server, that's your choice, but right now I have written it like SMTP server, right? So this is what I have written, and over here you can see imap.gmail.com. so this is a server, this is my server on which I am going to connect to, like SMTP server, comma, what is the port for that, and the port number for the IMAP server is 993. So this is how I will be making a connection to that server, and accordingly now I will be logging in. And for logging in, you know what credentials you require. You require the username, or let's say the email ID of a user plus the password of that user, right? So here I have specified the email ID plus the password. So this is how I have written. Same thing I have done here also. I already have my password inside my password.txt, and inside that I have just written my password. So I'm just reading the data from there, and accordingly I'm going to use it. So this is what I have done, and this is how I have stored the data, right? And up to this step I am logged in to the Gmail account. Now the next thing that I have to do is that I have to fetch the complete data. I have to fetch the complete emails, whatever I have received, into my Gmail account. And as I said that I want to fetch all the details of the emails that I have received. And you know, all the messages that you receive, you have all those messages inside the inbox. So definitely I will be going for the inbox. So in the next line I have selected that from where I want to fetch the data, from where I want to fetch the mails. So simply I have written mail.select, within brackets I have simply written inbox, means I want to collect the data for the inbox. So this is what I am doing right now. Now in next step, and let's say in the next few steps, what exactly we are trying to do is that how much emails I want to collect now. So from here what exactly I'm trying to do is data equal to mail.search none comma all. In short, from this statement what I want to check is I want to check all the emails that I have inside my inbox. So with this you will be having a complete data, you will be having a complete indexing for that. So you will get the complete data, and in here you will be having mail underscore ID equal to data within brackets 1, because from here you will be getting two data. You will be having a list, and list will be something like this. Like the first data will be okay, saying that everything is done okay, everything is done properly, and the second one will be a binary data, and in that sorry, not binary, it will be like a byte data in which you will be having a data in this format 1 2 3 4 5 something like this. So this is how you will be having the data, and those numbering will be the indexing, or let's say those numbering will be an identification for your email ID, right? So this is how you will be having the data getting from over here. So here, from here you will get the data something like this. And in the next line you can see what I am doing. Data within brackets 1 means I want to access the first position, and the first position will be this. So this is how I will be getting that data, right? So this is the way how I will be getting it, and accordingly now I will be getting the ID list. So whatever is the list, whatever is the data, and I will be splitting it based on whatever numbers I am having. So split, and you will get all the data like 1 2 3 4 5 so on up to the last position. And here I am just setting the numbering for the first position of the email ID and the last position of that email ID, and based on that now I want to read all my data one by one, right? So this is what exactly I'm going to do right now. So for index comma I, here what I'm doing is I'm simply just using this, and accordingly enumerated that so that I can get the index value for that also. That's up to me, like whether I want to use the index value or I directly want to use this first email ID, last email ID, or directly I value. It's up to me, whatever I want to use, right? And with based on this I am just setting up the range, like how I want to get the data, because if you will be getting all the data based on the numbering which is given over here, like 1 to the last position, and in this case what will happen is based on the numbering which you will get from here, like the first email ID, the last email ID, and first email ID and last email ID is based on the date when you have received that email. Means if I have the numbering as 1, which means the email ID which I have received first when I have created the account, you can say in that way, right? So in short, this will be the last message for us, right? This will be the message which maybe I don't require right now, right? So this will be the first message which you have received when you have created your account. So similarly, you can say the last message is latest email ID. So this that is the reason what exactly we are trying to do over here is we are just trying to set up a range in the reverse order. For example, I have 100 emails, so it's like what I will be doing from here is like 100 comma 0 comma -1. So in short, I will be having a range in the reverse order. So this is the way what exactly I'm doing, and this is the way how I will be reading the data, right? So this is what I am doing right now, and in the next line you can see over here data equal to mail.fetch. So here what exactly I'm trying to do is I'm trying to fetch the data based on the numbering I have provided, comma I am just setting up like what type of data I want to fetch. So I want to type the data with respect to this value. If I will be having a content related to this, if I will be having a parts related to this, so in that case I want to fetch the value, and that value will be for the numbering which I have given, or in short you can say the numbering of that email ID. So this is what I am doing, and in the next line now from here you will be having a data, and for that data you will be having a complete list again, and in that list you will be having multiple values, or let's say you will be having 2 different values, and for those 2 values we have to just only get those data which will be a tuple, because I know if I will be having a tuple, then only I will be having a complete details, I will be having a complete information about that particular email. So that is the reason I just want to go for the tuple only, and that is the reason you can see in the next line that here what I have written AR equal to response underscore part, and from here I am just going for the 0th position, because I will be going for this just because if I will be having this final value as tuple, and that tuple will be having my complete data. So that is what I want to do, and in the next line that is the reason why I have put a condition to check whether that ARR which data I am having over here, that is an instance of tuple or no, because based on that tuple only I will be having my complete information. Otherwise if I will be having some different type of data, maybe string or something, that will not be my complete data, and there are chances that if I will be using that data, then definitely I will be getting what? I will be getting some errors, and that definitely I don't want, right? So this is what exactly I'm doing right over here. Now if I will be having the tuple over here, and in the next case I have to just check for the data which is in this encoding, which is UTF-8. So I want the message to be in the UTF-8 encoding, and based on that I will be reading it. And now in the next line you can see, now from this message, from this MSG object which I have created, now I can fetch my complete detail whichever I want to fetch. So my first value will be like subject, I want to fetch the subject and I'm storing it over here. Similarly email, so from whom I have got this email, or let's say who have sent me this email. So from here I'm just fetching the email ID of that person. Similarly when I have received it, I have received it on this particular date. So this is all that I have received, and accordingly you can see over here currently I'm just printing that data. I'm not storing it somewhere, but right now I'm just collecting that data and I'm just simply printing it in the output. So that's my choice whether I want to print it or store it. So from here first line will be for the date, you will be having a date in this format. Let's put it like this, right? Similarly in the next line you will be having the index value, and from you are getting over here, and accordingly subject, and at the last I'm just putting up a separator which will be giving me like hyphen 100 times. And also one more condition I have put over here, that if the index value is 15 then it should stop, or simply I can say if the value is less than 15 for example, right? So in that case what I want is I just want, okay sorry, if it will be greater than 15, right? Because if it will be less than 14, definitely I don't want it to be exit, right? So if it will be more than 14, then what I want is I just want to exit, I just want to stop it. I don't want to further read the rest of the messages, because from this statement I will be going for all the messages, whatever messages I have, in my inbox. I will be reading all of it, but I don't want to read all of it. I just want to read some of it. I want to read only 15 of it. So that is the reason I have put such condition. And now at last I have just put the exception, and for that exception it will just print the message whatever I will be having, right? So this is my complete program through which I will be able to read my complete data. I will be able to read my complete emails from my Gmail account. So this is up to me, like now how much I want to read, right? So my code is complete now. Now I can run it and I can further check that whether I'm getting the result or no. And similarly, one more time I am repeating, if you want to make it work, you have to first go to your Gmail account and then you have to change the settings. And in the settings, what exactly you have to change? You have to change the less secure app access to on. You have to turn on that feature, otherwise you will not be able to get it. If you are not getting me what exactly I am trying to say, just refer to my previous video and don't worry about the link of that video. I will leave a link in the description, and also I will add this video on the file so that you can check it and you can accordingly understand what exactly I'm saying, and then you will start running this file so that you can see the output for that, right? So I'm done up to this step. Now I can run it and you will be able to see the output over here. So just wait now. So can you see now here what you're getting? Date in the first line, in the second line indexing plus who has sent you, and what is the subject for that. Similarly, there are so many other messages, and at the end, like I have put such a condition, just because of that I'm getting the output in this way, like 17. Okay, so maybe I have to put it like 40, let's say. Oh sorry, let's say 13. It's different actually. Alright, so you can see 15 is the last message which I have displayed to you, right? So this is the way how you can read all the messages from your Gmail account, and accordingly it's up to you, like now what next you want to do, whether you want to store it or whether you want to perform some different functionality based on that. But this is the way how exactly you can read the messages from your Gmail account. And now I hope everything is clear to you, but still if you are facing any difficulties in understanding the topic, feel free to leave a comment below in the comment section. Also, you can leave a feedback for us if you want us to improve for something and to provide you the best knowledge. And also, if you have liked this video, do click on the like button, and if you are new to our channel and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, do click on the subscribe button so that you do not miss any videos from our channel. And also you can press the bell icon if you don't want to miss any updates, and if you want to get a notification whenever we will upload a new video. So that is it for today. Till then, bye bye and happy learning.